I'll carry a small equipment. Nah, is it you my sister?
No, sister.
Ebara Kenny enemy na equipment. Or a greedy mind, or there ekpa na sisi. Panovo so or there is working. Not can working.
Okay,
Or trick of working. Or I don't making up money. Or that. Okay, only me a dollar. It like you me at me. I she no. Joy is making hen.
I still don't talk. When I was washing clothes, I still did work.
Go and do what you are doing.
What is it again? I'm not sure.
I want to go and grind the tomato. And you wash meat. Wash meat. You don't know you are a lady. Stop arguing with me.
I'm doing very easy. No, Pamela don't want to do something.
Don't be Pamela.
No, they won't person. So sure. Now, man, I drive the top me. They did it. I don't know, man. They come. Me to see that out for this you know great I like to know that out. I'll stop me. Broke parts. Out of the house. No, me stop me. I don't get time. Broke parts.
I'm just
It's time for roads. And what did they stop me for?
all right.
I mean, no, now. All right. I need to get out by now. You know what? Pack for your. If you let out, I don't choose.
All right.
It's one. I mean, you know what's not. Well, I don't know. I need to. Roupa, tá feito. Já.
She use a mat.
I told me I'm outside that CB. One black rubber. I don't know. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, 9 days.
I'm not saying.
What are you doing? Is this one light? Okay. No light. Oh, say they don't own that big fan. Go and check it. Off it. You will drain the current. And I just on the whole light for outside. I beg, switch off the fan, please.
So that's why I get power on me. Well,
I didn't saw it. You go ahead. You also where?
Mommy, from today.
For pleasure portion. So on that, I want to explain to you.
What the delay? Let you know holding.
To continue to pray.
Why delay? The lecture is why delay? Why is it not on the screen?
And night.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, all.
Yeah, good evening, madam.
I know. I'm so sorry. You can see I'm still dressed for work. I didn't change to my usual clothes yet. Sorry. Um, thank you. Good evening, and welcome to this lecture. It will be so much fun. And in fact, if you miss this lecture, I think you've missed everything. So I'm sorry. This is like one of the most important lectures I know all the lectures are important, but this will be one of the most important lecture that you will ever spend your evening listening to. So we get started, please.
For worshippers.
Okay. So once again, welcome to the class. My name is Dr. Susanna. For those of you joining for the first time, first of all, I want to sincerely apologize for starting a few minutes behind. We start 8 on the dot. And today I came at about 8:03 or thereabout or 8:04. So forgive me for that. I'm just coming in from work. It won't happen again. On Wednesdays, I try not to go to work, but or leave early. But today did not happen. So today we are going to talk about your mind as medicine. So before I move on to the slides, the lectures slide properly, I want to tell you something that will be so impactful. So a few stories that I lined up to set the tone for this lecture. So the first one goes like this. Remember, the topic is your mind as medicine, your mind as medicine. Number one, in our book, because the book I authored is really your book, and I know that just about everybody have it.
How is that chicken?
Who is eating chicken at this hour?
Sure. I haven't tried it.
Okay. All right. Okay. I've muted everybody now. Okay, so on the book, Everything Heals, there's a chapter there, and the chapter is called Your Mind as Medicine. Once again, the topic, that chapter is titled Your Mind as Medicine. So what is your mind as medicine all about? It's the whole chapter is all about the fact that your mind can heal you and your mind can kill you. I will repeat, your very mind, how you're thinking, um, you receive a request to record. I don't know what that means, but whatever. Cloud recording disabled. I don't know. Okay. So your mind can actually heal you, and your mind can kill you. I repeat, your mind can heal you and can kill you. So let me start, first of all, by talking about the mind in general, how the mind works. Okay? Okay, so here, this really cute story. This one doesn't have anything to do with medicine, but it will make you understand how the mind works. So there's this lady, she lived in Nigeria. She grew up too fast, like me, and she became even a chief, some kind of head of market women. Like she arrived, like her status, she was old before she was old. So when she was younger, she was very happy when people call her Ma, good morning, Ma. So she felt like it was respect. So she wanted to be old very fast so that she can command that respect. And if you greet her without putting Ma, she would actually not be happy with you. So as she got older, she sent her children abroad. So her only daughter was in the UK, and so she's done making money and arriving. So she decides to move to the UK. So while in the UK, the husband died. So she wanted to move to the UK and start all over again. And her best friend became her daughter. So all of a sudden, she has this need to look young, maybe wear jeans, trouser. You know, she wanted to be a babe, hot babe for that matter. She wanted people to think that she's about the same age as the daughter. She wanted to get the same, you know, she, in her mind, remember we're talking about the mind, in her mind, she's now a very young person that, and she's just young in her mind. So she started dressing differently, she started carrying different handbags, she started doing things differently. So she went somewhere, and people who knew her were there, and some people did not know her. And they just started greeting her, um, good evening, Ma. How are you, Ma? So she was very upset with herself. That is it that she's looking old. Somebody who used to look for, you know, people to call her Ma. Now you tell her, good evening, Ma. She's thinking she's looking old or something. Now, why did I use that example? I'm using that example to show that when your mind shifts, especially now we're talking about health, when your mind shifts from that sick person that you've been labeled either by a doctor, a society, or whatever, if your mind shifts and you shift your mind to this healthy person and say, I am healthy, like there's a place in your head that I am now a healthy person. It doesn't matter what your body is doing to you, I am a healthy person. And then you wait until that health materializes. So I use that example because the lady, she's a friend. She's actually one of our clients, and she moved to the UK. And she was telling me that, oh, that is there something else she needs to do because someone just told her, good morning, Ma, or good evening, Ma, and she feels very old. And I said, no, you look like so much younger. I'm using that example to let you know that for people that are trying to maybe get rid of a disease or not even be sick in the first place, once you shift your mind, I am a healthy person, then you go to church and they say, if you're sick, come out. Do you know that you should not be the first person to run out? Yes, you can go out, but your mind, your belief level, your mind should be such that I am already well. Now, that's one story, and it's on that lady. She's a good example for me on shifting your mind, because this whole lecture, the objective is that by the time I'm done, I want to teach you how to shift your mind to a perfectly healthy person. Secondly, before I go to the second story, you've noticed that Dr. Susan, I'm always saying that, oh, I have never been sick. I've never been sick. I've just never laid down to cover my body to be. I think maybe even just affirming that will never allow me to be sick. This is what I'm thinking. So as we will learn, some of the techniques, one of them is affirmation. So you need to start affirming what you believe. So, but I think that lady's story, I know I may not have captured it very well, but the fact that even in her mind, body, and soul, she's now a hot babe, only for her to go and hear "Good evening, ma." And she was upset, like, why are they calling me ma? Is it because I'm old? We have to do like that when we are trying to achieve health. So that's one. Then the second one, I don't know, maybe you've heard about this one. This one is also um, a very popular case across the globe, all over the world. The people in charge of fitness, the doctors, the everybody that was in charge of how the body worked in the 70s, I think 70s or 60s or thereabout, they published it that no human being on earth can run 4 miles, I'm sorry, 1 mile in 4 minutes. So it's impossible, like physiologically, mentally, spiritually, anything, Ali, it's not possible for a human being to run 1 mile length in 4 minutes or less. So if in those days, if you did like 7 minutes, 10 minutes, I think the world record was at about 10 minutes. World record, 10 minutes. So there was one person who said, this 4 minute mark that has been set for human beings never to cross, I don't want to believe it. I shift my mind from it. So he just started practicing and not paying attention to 4 minutes. He believed that he could do it in 2 minutes, and even if he will die trying, he wants to do it in 2 minutes. So he started practicing, and his practice was, how do I get it to 2 minutes? Meanwhile, globally, it has been announced, even in Olympic Games, that they should never allow a human being to run, to even attempt it, because a human being will die. Until sometime in the 70s or so, my date may be a bit off, but this story is on the internet. Somebody broke that record and ran 1 mile in 3.59 minutes, like 3 minutes, 59 seconds, and broke that record. But I want to tell you that today people are running that in 3 minutes, 2 minutes. That is shattered. So it's to let you know that even the professionals can actually place something in your head that it can never change. So I don't want me, even Dr. Susan as a professional, I don't want another doctor out there to place something in your head. Nobody should place something in your head. If you listen to your body and you believe in your body's natural and innate ability to heal itself, you can totally transform. Now, so I've told you about two things. That one, that the record was broken, and now everybody's running 1 mile for 2 minutes, for 1 minute. But there was a time in history where it was suicidal. It wasn't to be considered that 4 minutes. So you see, it's a mind shift thing. Okay. The last one I want to share before I even move is the clinical trials that they did on Rogaine. I don't know if you know Rogaine. So Rogaine is this a tablet that you take by mouth, and your baldness, this bald hair that men have, your hair will just disappear from your head. It will come back. So there's a tablet that allows the male pattern baldness to reverse. So when they were actually doing the clinical trial, the initial clinical trial that they did, so they divided the patient into 50%, like half and half. And half of them, they gave them just ordinary sugar pill. The only thing is that these patients were just so happy and excited that they're about to enter a clinical trial that will allow their hair to grow. So in America, they recruited so many bald men, and American white, they like to have their hair complete. In fact, they even wear more fake hair than you. I think our Oga at the top, Donald Trump, might be one of them, but I've not checked. But that's just on the lighter note. They wear this thing very well. So when they recruited thousands of men to come and do a clinical trial that all their baldness will grow back, so they divided them into two. They gave some just ordinary sugar pill, they call it placebo, and they gave the other people Rogaine. And they found out that the initial trial, can you believe this? Out of this half, more than 35% of the half grew back their hair on sugar pill. 35% grew back hair fully, the same way the Rogaine people grew. Like the people, okay, so it's two types: the controlled, the drug that has the drug, and the drug that doesn't have the drug. They both look like a pill. They look like same tablet. One is just sugar, and one has the medicine. How is it possible that the ones that were in the sugar pill, 30-something% of them, the hair grew back just as though they were on the actual pill? So this is to tell you that if you take even anything you take in your mouth, water, food, prescription, if you have that firm belief and then be happy in that belief that this thing has already happened, you're already more than 50% in. So this is just some examples of your mind as medicine. So I'm going to quickly share my slide, and then in the slide, I will show you the scientific, like, why does this happen? I'll show you in the slide. Just 1 second. All right, so I want to share my screen. So it says share your screen, start broadcasting. Hang on 1 second. It says you're sharing screen. Okay, I believe you. Let's see if I am truly sharing my screen. All righty then. Oops. That is not supposed to show. Okay, good. So once again, welcome to the lecture. The topic is your mind as medicine. And as I started in my introduction, your very mind can heal you and your mind can kill you. I started off by giving some examples, and now that we are in here, I'm going to show you how it really works, like the science that backs this up, okay? All right. The first thing I want you to go home with today is this. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I will repeat. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Now, look at that example of the lady that moved to the UK, and all of a sudden, she wants to be a hot babe. She wants to be a hot number. And now, so she has changed the way she looks at things. So she no longer looks herself as one older woman who should be respected. If somebody's not kneeling down for you, she brought up herself that she's very old. And all of a sudden, the way she looked at things changed. And she has, in fact, in her body, mind, and soul, she has changed to a youthful lady that they should not call Ma. And when you now call her Ma, she's reminded that she's old. So this shows that if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. In your life, in your health, in your finances, in your everything, how are you looking at things? So can we try to see things differently? There are many people that come to the Dr. Physique clinic and they tell me, Dr. Susan, I just want to see you. You know what? Because I know that if you, Dr. Susan, just give me even water to drink, I will be well. I want to tell you that 100% of the time, they are well. 100% of the times, they are well. Now, I also have in the same Dr. Physique clinic, people come in and say, oh, Dr. Susan, I have already been told, I'll give a case, I can't use that example, but let me give another example. Somebody came into the clinic and the person was just upset, mad, angry. And then they said, okay, sir, it's time to go this way. However, you need to, I think they asked him to pay for registration fee. Why should I pay for registration fee when I don't even know if this thing will work? So, I wasn't very happy with my doctor. We are still fighting that fight till today. The doctor now said, you know what, sir, based on everything, you need admission and we cannot keep you today. So whatever, they send the patient to another hospital. Make a long story short, the patient was already dead in his mind. Send the patient to another hospital. That hospital kept the patient for a few more days, then send the patient to another hospital. All this one happened within like a couple of weeks, and the patient was gone. So your mind can heal you, and your mind can kill you. So from this lecture, this is the takeaway. Change the way you look at things, and the very things you look at will change. So my objective was actually to help all of us understand how thoughts, emotion, even mental habits influence physical health, and also to equip you with practical mind-body solutions and things that promote healing. Okay? And then also support your overall well-being. See, I'm the happiest person on earth if you are all well. Then my dream comes true of creating a sickness-free, free body community. I'm so happy with that because guess what? I always put it back to God. If God has put us on earth to do things, to fulfill our purpose, to do what we're supposed to do, it's so much easier to do it from a very healthy body. So all I'm saying is this. What if this was the only missing link? What if this is the only missing link from making your blood pressure medicine to work better? What if this is the missing link from making your sugar level to work better, sugar medication to work better or even disappear? What if this is the missing link from making your pain medication to work better or even disappear? Because one thing about this lecture, and please keep coming. Like I said, today might be your day, tomorrow may not be. One thing about this lecture is that this is the prescription that you will never find on a prescription pad. Let me repeat that. This lecture is the prescription that you will never, may never find on a prescription pad. Doctors are not trained to write sleep as medicine. No, we can give you the sleeping pill. So you're not going to get mind alone can heal you. You won't get it. So please, I commend you, but please keep coming because you'll definitely pick something from here. And don't come alone, bring everybody you love. So, as a way to introduce this topic, which I've already done that, our minds are the most powerful tool we can harness for our well-being. Every experience begins with a thought. That thought placed into action creates a ripple effect that becomes magnified in your life. So anything you think, you will manifest. You will manifest it. So our thoughts, feelings, belief, attitude can positively or negatively affect our biological functioning. I will show you. So there's this part of the brain called the amygdala. I mean, I don't like doing too technical a lecture. I want you to walk away and get the basics. This part of the brain does not know, the whole idea is to protect you. So if we know, well, let me use this other one, is better. Anytime you think a thought, whether positive or negative, you're secreting something. Your body is manufacturing something. So it's either something that heals you or something that takes you out completely. So let me mute this. 1 second. Yeah, I think this should be better because I'm even echoing, and that's not so cute. All right. So when we are going through things, okay, we need to control our mind. It says your mind is one of the most influential force moving you either away or towards achieving your goals and improving your health. Now, check this out. What is the definition? Let's look at a few definitions, okay? The mind. So, we have the mind, and some people are like, what's the difference between the mind and the brain? We will talk about it. So the mind is actually the totality of of psychological phenomena and capacities, okay, encompassing consciousness. Okay, so when you're talking of the mind, you're talking consciousness, you're talking thoughts, you're talking perception, you're talking feelings. You can't touch them, right? You're talking mood, you're talking motivation, behavior, memory, learning, like that. Okay. Now, let's use this. This is better. Let's go here. So you hear brain, you hear mind. What's the difference? The brain is a physical entity of what this mind is doing. So it's the physical entity, okay? It is made up of blood vessels and nerves. It has a definite shape, okay, coordinates movement, blah, 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 blah. It's a hardware. The mind, which is what we are focusing on, is an abstract entity. You can't really touch it, okay? It has no shape or structure, but guess what? It shapes and structures everything about you, but it has no shape or structure, okay? Now, the mind, okay, refers to a person's conscience, that is understanding, thoughts, processes. So the way I usually summarize it is that while the brain is the hardware, the mind is the software. They work together. So hardware, software for people that know computer. But I'm sure this explains it. So let's go to the juicy part. Okay. So I claimed that the mind is medicine. Your mind can heal you or kill you. So the question is, how does the mind become medicine? So here it is. And I told you that I'll give scientific facts of on how this thing works. So it says the mind has the ability to activate the body's natural healing mechanisms. It does this by stimulating what? The release of the following. Remember earlier, I said anything you think, you're secreting it. Let me get a little vulgar. I hope that children are not too many on the platform. When you're thinking about a very sad situation, maybe the passing away of a loved one, or maybe you're watching a sad movie or whatever, you see tears will start dripping down your eyes just from thoughts, right? So this shows that anything you're thinking, you're making it. And I want to tell you, if any of your thought is a stressful thought, at that moment you have shut the door completely to anything that heals you. I'm coming. You should write this down. Anytime your thought stresses you, you have closed the door, like this door was open, you shut it to anything that is going to activate what they call your body's natural self-healing response mechanism. You shut the door completely. So, as I started to say earlier, the mind has the ability to activate the body's natural healing mechanism. Okay, how does it do that? It does that by stimulating the following: endorphins. Okay, so your question is, how do I stimulate endorphins? Guess the fastest way to stimulate endorphins: laugh harder, go for exercise, like all the things that we've been talking about. Put yourself in an ultra relaxed mode. Let me tell you something. If you don't have anything to do to improve and increase your endorphin, serotonin, dopamine, go and get a massage and just forget about it. Because whether you worry or not, first of all, we know that what will be will be. But we now know that if we don't worry and we approach this life, sickness, whatever, with ease, happiness, and calm, we actually stand the opportunity to actually heal ourselves. So I'll tell you, there's a story about a man who went to a clinic and they saw something, and the doctor now said, let's do a full body MRI. And what was discovered on the MRI was insane. And they told the man that in the history of this type of disease, nobody has lived beyond 6 months. However, because you're younger and you may live to 9 months. So this man now took this story and said, since I only have at most 9 months to live, then why should I start the treatment? Because immediately they wanted to come very heavy on the man. The man is like, you've already told me if I take the drugs, it's a 50-50 chance. I have 9 months to enjoy my life because I'm gonna die anyway in 9 months. So you know what? So the man packed his bag and went to Asia, I believe Japan or Korea, somewhere. I think it was Japan. And when he was there, he told a few family members. So people used to come and comfort him. They will bring like drinks. He would tell them to bring beer, like things that he was just like, I'm going to enjoy my life. So after like 3 months, he knew that he had 6 months, and if lucky, 9 months. He decided to create a very beautiful garden. And he wanted to leave that garden so that when he dies, when his wife is picking the fruit or whatever from the garden, the wife will remember him. So do you know what? It was now harvest time, 6 months later. The man actually participated in picking some of the things he planted, even though he was not very strong. And then he started another garden. And then he started another garden. And let me tell you, he died. He got the diagnosis when he was 46 years old. He died at 98. He died at 98. So, what I'm teaching here is that no matter what you're going through, even when the pain comes, you can learn to say, you know what, it's just pain. I know that it's easier said than done. And even as I'm saying this, I almost have tears in my eyes because I have seen people with pain. I've seen people with pain, and it's not funny. But am I going to tell you to dwell in the pain? I'm not going to do that. So, moving on, just know that when you approach life, disease, even the art of making money, whatever it is, you approach it with ease, you'll be secreting these things in your body. Endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, the reward and motivation hormone, oxytocin, the emotional and safety hormone, GABA, the relaxation chemical, endorphin, the painkillers. As I said before, if you think of a sad situation, you secrete tears. If a man is thinking of a really pleasurable, most beautiful woman in a sexual manner, they get an erection. So is that not enough for you to know that whatever you're thinking and dwelling on, you are secreting it at the same time? But I will say it and I'll say it again and again. Anytime your thought stresses you, if you're in the corridor of healing, if you're in the corridor of healing, you have shut the door at that moment to anything that will heal you. And thank God, we actually also, as human beings, have something called a higher power, like the God factor. So in that book, Everything Heals, there's the mind as medicine, and there's the God factor, which we can use to ease off some of these pains. So when the mind enters a state of calm, clarity, gratitude. This morning, I had a conversation with someone, and the conclusion from that conversation was that we need to be thanking God more for what we don't know God has done for us. So, what happened? I was talking to someone this morning, and all of a sudden, I just hear, I'm like, we are having like a really steady conversation, and I'm hearing, come out, get out. Ah! I said, is this a human being like this? I did not know this side of you. And I said, what happened? So there's this SUV driving by, black tinted SUV. There's these two children going to school, maybe a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old or something. And the black SUV opens the door to put them inside. What if this person was not on a walk to witness this and literally force them out of the car? But I'll tell you something, the mother of these children may end up going to bed tonight not having anything to thank God for. But guess what? Behind them, God just rescued their only two children from the hands of maybe a kidnapper or organ. You know, this is end of the year. People are into things that we cannot even imagine. So, gratitude, no matter how bad it is looking, this one is paining you, start thanking God for another thing altogether. Hope, you understand? And this chemical, sorry. So when we this chemical floods the bloodstream. So these good chemicals that I have just mentioned, they will flood the bloodstream, improving healing, improving sleep, improving digestion, improving immunity, improving emotional balance. So this is the science behind this. It's a science, and I've actually showed you, apart from, you're like, oh, Dr. Susan, I don't know endorphin, serotonin. Yes, you do. Now you do. But even if you don't know, at least you know that if you have a sad thought, tears will come out of your eyes. And if you think of a sexual relationship or whatever, you might get erection and whatever. So this is to prove to you that anything your mind is playing with, believe me, you're secreting it. Now, I want to use this opportunity to talk about stress. Everybody, oh, I want to do a lecture on stress. What was that lecture that everybody, some stress lecture that is very popular. People used to call people to come and talk on stress. But I don't care which lecture you've listened to, take this one home. This your brain, anytime you're stressed, okay? What happens to your body instantly affects your heart, your kidney, your stomach is secreting excess hydrochloric acid that's going to burn a hole in your stomach. create gas, create acid, cause ulcer, etc. just from stress. Now, if like in cancer patients, if we already know that the body wants to be more alkaline, and then the cancer as a disease in your mind stresses you, how are you ever gonna heal? It's not possible. So just let's try. I know I'm asking you to do a tough thing, and you also know that I'm praying for you on the side. Anytime you're stressed, your vessel constricts. So when you have vessel constriction, where is the oxygen that is going to carry energy to, or even communicate to the cells? The mitochondria goes dead, and you cannot be well. So you can see that no matter how tough it is, we just have to find a way and be laughing and be calm. Like I taught in this lecture, do your gratitude. Just start thanking God for something else. And you'll see that this other problem will diminish. I have already talked about the placebo effect, and the classic example for the placebo effect I used was the one I told you about, the one to reverse the baldness, where 35% of people who got just ordinary sugar pill, their hair grew back because they were so excited that they were chosen for the clinical trial. In their mind, they have collected hair growing drug. Their hair grew back. So this shows that your mind, your happiness, your anticipation can shift the bar. Okay? So just because I have it here, the placebo effect actually demonstrates the mind's ability to influence physical outcome. Physical outcome. Now, it also happened in the Viagra studies. Men that were given Viagra, men that were given sugar pill, just because they knew they were the Viagra studies, they actually woke up with erections and whatever happened there. So it says it refers to the improvement in symptoms. I don't need to stress this lecture, but in our medical, a lot of my background, you know that I'm actually also a clinician pharmacist. I did a pharmacy. I have a doctor of pharmacy degree, but the kind of pharmacy that I did is actually the one where not like just like when you do the normal pharmacy, bachelor's pharmacy, it means it's mostly hospital. It's like the clinical aspect. So actually in the United States, you can actually do residency, and then you have prescribing rights. So that's the part that I picked in this my pharmacy type of career. So why am I saying all of this? These people, the core pharmaceutical industry, design all these drugs. They also know and write it that placebo cure rate as of today ranges from 15 to 72%. Why is that not on every hospital ward or everywhere? That being said, as I said, if you didn't take anything today, in the beginning, I begged you that change the way you look at things, and the things you look at will change. Now, so I will give you some techniques. Okay, one of the technique is meditation and mindful practice. So anything you want to remove from your life. Oh, by the way, let me teach you a language. You cannot say, I don't want to have. So say what I just say, I am healthy. Do you understand? Because sometimes your body does not understand the opposite. So I am not, a diabetic. Your body will hear diabetic, so you're a diabetic. You know what I mean? Like, so if you say, I am healthy and my sugar, it's a language type of change. So speak the positive, not the negative in reverse will be better. Okay. Now, I know a lady. She's actually from Catholic background. So there's this kind of rosary that they have, and the rosary is like maybe 100, whatever, and they repeat, "Thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus." So she will repeat, "Thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus," and she will now insert um, what she wants to reverse. So even in Islam, also, when you're doing your tasbih stuff, you can actually do it and then sit down, meditate on what you want God to reverse for you. So, why am I saying all of this? Healing is from God. Healing is from God. Now, how does this God work? It works through your mind. And that is why a lot of pastors, especially pastors that are too much into what they call healing ministry, they know all of this. They work on your mind. After working on your mind, they position something. You stand up, you can drop your wheelchair. You understand? But you first have to believe. So, and part of believing is, working on your mind, maybe through meditation. You've already prayed, you've already believed. Even if the preacher or imam or anybody just puts their hand like this, you're already well. Two, there's something called cognitive behavioral therapy. That one is more like it's more technical, but I'm just listing things that we use in the space of techniques. This visualization. I shared on this platform a patient who had cancer, and I went outside and I got a little stone because she had the cancer in her breast. So I brought a little tiny stone and I put it in her, between her two fingers, that she should roll it, and she should just believe that, because she was carrying this cancer, which was about the size of the cover of your Eva water, the cover, that cup. The cancer was about that size, and she was carrying it bigger than, is it 70, not 75 cl? What's that other bigger bottle? She was carrying it as if like she could almost not walk because her breast is falling down from cancer. And I told her, come, you rather need to shrink it to just a pebble of sand and it will just get out. And I went and got a small stone pebble. I gave it to her. Well, to God be the glory. She got rid of her cancer, and so she's very okay. So, visualization. So, if you visualize that this thing is gone, if you visualize health, when you take in a deep breath in, you visualize the oxygen going to every part of your body and like a broom sweeping away every sickness. Sorry, it's not going to happen overnight. It's like weight loss, which, by the way, I'm about to start another weight loss program. Maybe I'll announce it this week. You start today, it gets tough and you quit, it means that you don't have what it takes. So it's long term. Remember this man I told you, the one that ended up living to 98 years old, Yes, he took it long term. He's like, you know what? Let me make another garden. So it's usually long term. Not that you start breathing your oxygen today and you expect the disease to disappear tomorrow, then you'll be disappointed. I talked about positive affirmation, self talk. I use my own self as an example. I always say, I have never been sick and I will never be sick. Maybe this is why I have never been sick and will never, because when I say I am never sick, I can have sickness in my body. In fact, I even used to beg God that all this, my mouth that is running all over the place here, is because of how I feel. I want everybody to feel how I feel or better, if there is something better, because I feel and I can do whatever I could do in my 20s and upwards, I can still do it. So this is my dream for everyone. And I personally believe that these small things that I'm teaching can actually help us begin the journey. So positive talk and affirmation. So here's the tip. Practice mindfulness, as I've just said. Be in control of your thoughts, because out of your thoughts come your problem. Connection with your inner wisdom and intuition. It doesn't matter what Dr. Susan tells you. Your body will tell you what it really needs. I can prescribe 8 hours of sleep, but your body can tell you can do okay with 6, or maybe you even need 9. So you have to, there's this inner wisdom and intuition where something is talking to you. But as long as that something is talking in the positive direction, you must listen. Because your body will tell you what it needs. Establish a regular journaling. Journaling is very good. For me, if I cannot do my normal journal, I have 2 journals. The normal journal that I just journal, and then I have a gratitude journal. I just start all my journal with, God, I thank you so much for what I have not seen that you're currently doing for me right now. I don't know how they go to someone's shop to break in and they skip your own shop and break your neighbor's shop. So, like, why? You're selling the same things. So we need to thank God, because guess what? I personally believe that what we thank God for, that we see, is less than 80%. And the one that we don't thank God for is actually more than 80%. I gave an example of those 2 kids that would have been, the mother would have been crying this night, but I assure you, that woman does not know that someone rescued the children from an SUV that was about to zoom off with the children. Practice breathing exercises, as I always say. There's a lot of Harvard study. I did my lifestyle medicine, the Harvard Medical School, lifestyle medicine. So I'm always on Harvard review, Harvard. Once you do anything Harvard, you like kind of like an alumni, so you get a lot of things. So Harvard Medical School study shows they have a lot on what they call mind-body techniques, such as meditation to reduce blood pressure and inflammation. Remember, we talked also that inflammation is the common thread for all diseases, inflammation. Then there's something called neuroplasticity, proves the brain can rewire itself, okay, through repetition. You can rewire your brain. You can. And then the placebo effect also demonstrates the effect on how belief alone can trigger healing. So here is what I want you to know. The power to heal starts within. By aligning your mind and heart, you can transform your life from the inside. So that's that. And since this is Dr. Physique or Dr. Susan's um, um, go-to slide for every lecture, I still want to make a friendly reminder that while we use our mind as medicine to heal ourselves, we should not forget to have adequate rest, minimum 6 hours. Please just try, because these are clinically proven things that we prescribe in our clinic and we see people get better. So it's like after almost 10 years of seeing these small ones making people better, why won't I be screaming that everybody should be doing it? We talk of oxygen. When you go for a walk and you're doing, it's oxygen therapy. If you sit down and do deep breathing, it's oxygen therapy. If you go to the Dr. Physique clinic and do Oxyvite, that is like doing
I can't hear you. I don't know if I'm the only one.
I'm not hearing him. Hearing her. So.
We are not hearing you from oxygen.
I think it's network.
I can't hear you.
We can't hear you, doctor.
I guess it's network. We all
So
cannot
we
hear her,
know.
so we just exercise a little patience.
Thanks.
Bad network.
Hi, I don't know what happened. So I want you to forgive me. I don't know what happened, but it just went away. I don't know how far. So how far did you hear? What did I get to the conclusion?
No, up to
No.
the point when you talked about when the oxivite, you are talking about oxygen and the oxygen
That far?
didn't exercise, and then yes, you.
Okay. So I'll just go to the last slide, which is in conclusion. Okay, I get you. Thank you so much for letting me know. I don't know, it just locked itself off. Don't know why, but we are done anyway. So that you know that. Okay, perfect. So I hope you can hear me. So I talked about. I just wanted to say that I normally cannot conclude a lecture without a friendly reminder that you should do your oxygen as medicine by doing your deep breathing exercises. If you go for a walk, when you do, you're taking oxygen. You can also do Oxyvite, which gives you like 4 hours of oxygen therapy in a few minutes, etc. I talked lastly about the God factor, and that God factor for me is part of your mind as medicine. So you can almost say that for every lecture I do, this is our pillar of longevity. Longevity here means whenever God says you go, that is when you go. However, we don't want to go from wheelchair. And I was also saying that if you started wellness late, forgive yourself. Just pick whatever you can pick from now and go forward. It's not late. It's not late for anybody. It is not late. Okay. And I talked about, you should have a formula for how you detox yourself daily by drinking enough water, weekly by doing a fasting, colonic hydrotherapy, food detox, even massage. It can detox your lymph. There's something called lymphatic drain massage, which you can't keep any type of inflammation and cancers in your body. So it's very, very important. I talked about exercise. So in conclusion, which is where I realized the thing was off, is that the mind is not separate from the body. It is a powerful biological force that shapes your health daily. And I added that the mind, it doesn't have shape, but it shapes everything in your world. When used consciously, the mind becomes medicine, and when neglected, it becomes poison. You must control your mind. You have to. And one word there is consciously. So it's not a freestyle something, okay? Healing begins with awareness. It continues with intentional thinking. I feel like this one was lifted from that chapter on Everything Heals, okay? And it flourishes when we align our emotions, thoughts, and action with wellness. A healthy mind is the fountain of a healthy life. So I so much love all of you, and I want the best for you. For me, I feel like this lecture, it's what you may never find on a prescription pad from any hospital, from anywhere. You will not find it, but it could just be the missing link to your to your healing. So I want you to key in, start practicing the little ones you can, and don't stop coming to this lecture. And to God be the glory. You will also get your own healing. And for those of you that are not sick, the whole idea is never to be sick in the first place. So thank you so much for your time. And we are back here. If you have any comment, question, we can take it now. But I really hope this lecture was useful and helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for the lecture. Thank you so much. The lecture was very interesting, very educational. The only thing that we are kind of changed by a lot of hiccup through network. You hearing me?
Yes, sir, and I apologize for that.
Because it's very lecture that everybody wanted to.
Yeah.
So
Thank
flowing
you.
very well. Except there are some hiccups on network, and otherwise, I think what do you got to do with mind and faith? Hello?
So I can hear you.
How how do you what relationship between mind and faith?
Mind and faith. Okay. Actually, I
There
think
is
I
faith.
answered that during the presentation. That even the pastors that are more in the healing ministry, they actually work on your mind, and you now have the faith that you're already well. So even before they lift their hand up, you're already running faster than Usain Bolt off of a wheelchair. So there's a link between mind and faith. So the mind and faith, they are very closely intertwined. Okay, so the mind influences faith by actually shaping, your thoughts, while faith is actually what provides the framework for understanding, like for actually keying in. So I think they are like husband and wife to try to make a baby.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So thank
But
you
the
so much.
scripture we open here about when Christ says the faith has healed you, or you couldn't do some work in his place because of lack of faith from his people.
Yes. And
So,
and yes, sir, you're absolutely right, because I've actually heard the one that says that if your faith is so tiny, you can actually say the mountain move and it will be shifted. So, sir, it's they are husband and wife, and that's that. Let me leave you with a parting story, because I feel like the lecture was so well received, and this is maybe there were questions that were wiped off from the interruption, but I'm happy, like when there's a way I do a lecture and I don't get a lot of questions, it means that it's one of those that Dr. Susan, I got you. Um, um, I know that it's past the hour that we should all go to bed. We're supposed to finish at 9. It's just another story I couldn't get in. But since you're still here and there's no question, I'll use my question and answer time and tell you this short story. So, there was a company and they work with fridge unit, the fridge unit. And there was one of the refrigerators unit, is a fridge unit, that the door was not working. And the man kept repeating all the time that one day this fridge will lock somebody in here and somebody will die here. He kept repeating it. Oh, they need to fix this door because one day this fridge will lock somebody in here and somebody will die here. He kept repeating it over and over again. So, you know what happened? One day, everybody went on break and he decided to stay back to do some work. And he thought when people come, he will go home. So on that very day, it was somebody's birthday, one of the manager's birthday. So the manager said, "Oh, because of my birthday, everybody go home." So from the cafeteria, everybody went home and nobody went back to open the fridge unit. And so he kept banging on the door, and his hands became bloody and everything. The door did not open because you cannot open from the outside. And he actually found a pen and wrote that I died from freezing. I love you, my wife, or something. But the handwriting actually showed that he died from being frozen. So he actually died inside the fridge unit. Now, what is the funniest part of the story? They actually took him to the hospital, and the autopsy revealed that he died from being frozen. He froze to death. So when they actually brought people to come and fix this whole unit, the door, the everything, and they found out that the temperature that he died, you know how in your room your AC is reading 16? So the temperature, so that fridge unit was actually broken already. So the temperature in that fridge unit was about 13. So usually 16 is normal, then 15, 13, a temperature that nobody should die, but only because he believed that he's in a refrigerator and it is freezing here and he will die. He actually died frozen in a normal temperature, a near normal temperature, whether it was even 15 or 14, like that. So I want us, as we walk away this night, and we don't have much questions today, please just work with your mind and your mind will work with you. I hope the lecture helped, and I want to say good night. I'm doing my part. I will ever pray for you. I wish you well. And by God's grace, we will have another very exciting lecture next Wednesday. And then we'll thank you. Thank you for this. I will write it down, 423, 423. A lot of faith-based people on the platform today. Thanks for sharing that. I will do that. So that's the Mind as Medicine for you. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Come with everybody you know, and then go to the YouTube, watch the video some more, share, like. We're trying to build the biggest community, and I cannot do it alone. Only you can do it for us. All right. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Good night.